UKIP's ruling body has passed a vote of no confidence in its leader, Henry Bolton, who has come in for heavy criticism after it emerged that his girlfriend, Jo Marnie, sent racist text messages about Prince Harry's fiancée, Meghan Markle. But Mr Bolton is refusing to resign. Instead, he claims he wants to drain the UKIP swamp. and only the members can get rid of him. Either Henry Bolton knew of his new girlfriend's extremely racist views, or he's just a terrible judge of character. Neither option inspires confidence in him as a leader. But being their fifth crisis-stricken leader in 2 years, this also doesn't bode well for UKIP. Henry Bolton's position is no longer tenable, and UKIP is a shambles. But Brexit is still very much an open debate, and that's coming from a Remainer. But there is a democratic need for a party representing the millions who voted for a hard Brexit. This is why UKIP, or a similar reincarnation, must survive. Without a party, there is a danger that those voices turn to less palatable forms of expression.
That party's there. It's called the Conservative Party.
Exactly.
They've taken up... I mean, from the moment they said Brexit means Brexit, and you can understand why they said it, why Mrs May said it, but from the moment they said Brexit means Brexit, the Conservative Party have increasingly become the Brexit Party. Yeah. And it's either an extreme Brexit or a more moderate Brexit, but it's the Brexit Party. Yeah. And that's where most of these UKIP people will go, I suspect. I mean, as for UKIP itself, I mean... On this programme last year, I said I thought Farage was the politician of his generation. I think we think of it even more now, because there was no one else there, was there?
Well, I mean,
the great danger of political parties anyway is that they attract, let's put it politely, strange people. And the more extreme, the more strange they are. And you look at what's happened to UKIP and you just think, this is a bunch of very odd people. Farage was UKIP.
He was. Yeah.
And without Farage, there is no UKIP. But for the supporters, they've got the
I'm
Tories.
not so sure it's the Tories, and the reason I think that is it kind of misunderstands or misdiagnoses what UKIP was. I think UKIP was a single-issue pressure group that hemorrhaged votes from Labour and the Tories, and so there are a whole bunch of left-leaning UKIPers who voted UKIP because they wanted Brexit. And so without that single-issue party, I wonder where those voices are going to go. And I say that as somebody, look, I'm a Remainer, I don't believe in Brexit, but at the same time, it's the reasons why I said Nigel Farage should be given a peerage, because I do recognise that he basically filled a void in this country and provided a voice for people that felt voiceless. And it is a one-man band. I do worry about the fact that there is nobody to replace him in UKIP, but I do think the party needs to act as a vent for angry people that disagree with where this country headed.
But there was only one point to UKIP. One point to UKIP. That was to get us out of the EU.
And it's happened.
They've done
it hasn't happened yet.
No, and it might not happen.
Well, I hope it doesn't. But
it might not happen. But that's not the point.
But that's a
the point is
debate.
That was done by Farage, and Farage then walked away. And it's arguable he should have stayed for another 2 or 3 years.
And seen the process through. Yeah,
True.
if he was dedicated.
And, you know, it is interesting that now Farage is talking about a second referendum because he believes they'll be overwhelmingly on his side. I don't think that is the case, but I think UKIP is now irrelevant.
And just to add to Greg's point, in Ghana, Greg, we have another word. and the word is waya, dear, which means well done. Yeah. Well said. Yes. Just to add to Greg's point, if you look at who the Conservatives have got negotiating Brexit, they're all hard Brexiteers. So I'm sorry, we have that place taken.
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
The Conservative Party
predicted it before.
is... The UKIP is the Brexit Party.
I predicted it before, and I think it's going to happen. I think that the deal Theresa May comes back with is going to be too soft for hard Brexiteers and too hard for Remainers like you and me.
Okay.
And I think because that's going to happen, Farage is already talking about a second referendum because he's predicting that's going to happen. And I think that when that does happen, there will be a place for a party that basically tries to go harder than the deal Theresa May's presenting to the country. And if there isn't that party that exists, where will those voices go? And I worry they'll end up in more underground, dodgy, extremist, dark places.
Well, I don't think we need to worry about that. Yeah. I am sure Nigel Farage will create that party if there's a void.
Well, he said he won't.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. He's said many things.
You know, but there will be a chunk of the Conservative Party who will run that campaign.
Yeah.
Which campaign?
Well, the campaign from the heart. It's not hard enough. We want to be harder than this.
Not if they're subjected to the whip.
Well, the whips will be irrelevant.
And then they'll be kicked out. Then they'll be kicked out. Then the whip withdrawn.
But you've only seen the events of this week.
They are another party, and that's all I'm calling.
But if you look at the events of this week and what's happened to Boris, there's no discipline in the Conservative Party at the moment.
Well, over that, I think there were...
Nobody's in control.
Michelle, what do you think?
And nobody will be in control.
Well, I think that UKIP were let down by our voting system in this country, because back in 2015 they got millions of votes and they ended up with one seat in Parliament.
They were the third biggest party not that long ago.
Let's see how many votes they got. Let's have a look. This is their votes. So that's 3.9 million votes, 12.6%. And as you're saying, Michelle.
And it's representative of a broken system to me, that party ended up with one seat in Parliament. That's my first point. And so many people were angry at the system because of that. Now, I do think that UKIP is finished, and if I look at the seat where I'm from, Hull West and Hessel, they came second place in 2015, and in 2017, even I beat them.
Yeah.
My God, they are doomed. Well, that is it.
Yeah, now make of that what you will. But they did. They got 4% of the vote, down from a 20% in Hull. But to your bigger point and your broader point, a huge amount of people, myself included, feel politically homeless at the moment. I wasn't a UKIP voter, but I do feel that there's nobody in politics at the moment that represents me. If there was an election called today, I wouldn't know who to vote for, which is why I stood for election in the last time. And my final point, just to pick you up, you in your intro said that loads of people voted for hard Brexit. They didn't. Those people voted just for Brexit. There wasn't this notion of hard and soft, half in, half out.
It was never
they just said Brexit, and that's what they voted for.
But also,
well, of course, that's the problem. I mean, when she said Brexit means Brexit, she didn't know what Brexit meant, and neither does anybody else.
So, in other words, that statement means we don't know what this means.
That's not a criticism. That's not a criticism. I mean, it was a fairly straightforward on the ballot paper. Do you want to stay or go? They said go.
Brexit meant leaving the European Union and its associated bodies. It wasn't difficult to understand.
That's
hard and soft.
That's a hard Brexit.
But if we come back to Maajid, your point, I think the clue is in the title, the UK Independence Party. These people are very independent. They are very difficult to control. And when you remember, if Neil Hamilton, who was the disgraced Conservative politician who now runs Welsh Assembly of the UKIP, if you believe him, even Nigel Farage had his own battles with his own party's NEC. Even they wanted him forced out. So these are very... It's like herding cats. These are very difficult.
This suggestion of Henry Bolton staying in until the Extraordinary General Assembly either backs him or asks him to leave.
Exactly,
that was Nigel Farage's suggestion. I think Henry Bolton's rather beholden to Farage's suggestions.
Yes, of course, you famously tried to back me or sack me, didn't you? They sacked you in the end, didn't they?
No, I didn't even... There was never a chance. They said, we're sacking you, what do you want?
But devil's advocate to your point, because you also said that Henry Bolton's position was untenable. Now, why, as what somebody's partner or ex-partner
said... Have you read the texts?
I think what she said is utterly disgusting. I don't advocate it in any way, shape or form, but playing devil's advocate, why does what somebody's now ex-partner think reflect on your ability to do a job?
So there's a question mark as to whether she's ex or not. There's a question mark as to whether she's ex, but having left his wife and 2 kids at Christmas for her, which is his right to do, that's not my business, and I'm happy...
His baby, let's add that.
It's his right to do. I mean, marriages fall apart all the time. I'm divorced, right?
So his ability to do his job?
So that's what I was going to attempt to get to. Well, no,
you
you kind of know if you're with someone in an intimate relationship what they think.
Views they hold.
And if you haven't been able to work out that somebody who was that racist wasn't that racist, then you've got some impaired judgment going on.
And
that's my only point.
also, Maajid, what I'd be interested to know is what were her views before she started dating him? I wonder if actually her joining UKIP is what influenced this sort of thinking, because the way he's responded to it is almost in a sort of protective way, and you wonder if actually her association with him is what's fueled this sort of thinking too. I want to see her social media
the
relationship.
I hope you all heard when I interviewed him, I channeled Mrs. Merton and I asked him, so what attracted you to the seemingly very attractive blonde 25-year-old blonde racist? To which he replied, well, she did have 4 A-levels by the time she was 15. That was the most extraordinary. Oh, that's all right then.